We must practice sitting still in the presence of God so we can hear what he is saying. You get up when you get through saying what you want to say. That is not communication. And God does not get the freedom to say what he needs to say. And you're going to only get that as you be in his presence, waiting to hear. So as I learned to go in there and hear him, I got to lose all my opinions. I'm going to drop all my ideas because I'm waiting to hear what he has to say. See, because one of the things I discovered is that if you don't pray right, you don't get right results. And if I think that God, if I have to pray to God, I gave them an example. And the example was, if I'm believing for finances, how many times do I ask God to give me money? One time. Because if I did that in faith, according to Mark 11, verse 22, it says, have faith in God. That's the component that when I go to pray, I got to know I got faith in God. If I don't have faith in God, I need to fix that before I start talking. So that when I start talking, then he says, go ahead and turn there, Mark 11. Y'all, we're going to do good because, see, this is a teaching church. And we believe in getting it right. Because if you don't get it right, you're going to miss God. And you're going to think God did something. And people are angry with God today because they thought God should have done something when they just didn't know God. They didn't know what God's supposed to do versus what they're supposed to do. Mark 11:22 says, have faith in God. You got to do that. Then he says, for verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say, who's doing the talking? The whosoever shall say unto this mountain. Okay, so now Jesus didn't say, pray to me about the mountain. How many times you going to pray about finances? Because what you're building is a life of unbelief. To keep asking for the same thing over and over again. It wouldn't be any different if my son came and asked me for some money and I said, okay, I'll give it to you. Then he keep coming back and asking me, what is he developing? He's developing a system of doubt without even realizing it, because it's unbelief to keep asking God over and over again. So once I told him yes, what is the next step? It should be praise and worship, because I got my answer. Not praying the same thing over and over again. But I got my answer. Now it changes from asking to praise and worship. Then I got to turn around when I see the devil messing with my money. I can't pray for that. I got to speak to it. That's the mountain I got to speak to. Devil, get your hands off my finances. Get out of my life. That's your job. That's not God's job. And if you don't cast him out, he's going to be in your money forever. He's going to be messing with it. Just when you think you overheard or something else will show up. Because you're not telling him to get out of your money. See, that's our part. Say, that's my part. So we see that that's how it works. Amen. That's how it works. And then I was talking about, I'm trying to get to the little notes that I put in here because it was so rich. And I couldn't put everything in here that was said on Wednesday night. I wish we had taped it, but that's all right. And then the other thing is that in our hearing, we was talking about hearing as well on Wednesday night. How important it is that you train yourself to hear the voice of God. Because a lot of times we miss God. He's talking, you're not able to hear. Because you're crowded with other things. But it's in our hearing that faith for what we say we're believing comes. Listen, because my revelation is not your revelation. Please hear me. When I minister to you from this pulpit, that's not your revelation. That's to get you started. You're supposed to go home and nurture what I taught. And I said on Wednesday night, stop studying everybody else's words. Study what we teach you here. because God gave Pastor DJ and myself what you need. And if you don't study what you're learning here, how are you going to have faith for that? And you might agree with it, that is right, but you still don't have faith for it yet. That has to be done in your nurturing. Why? Then I got to hear God. God will give me instruction in my hearing. He'll give me an instruction. So when you go home, you're supposed to nurture what we are teaching here. Then let that become revelation to you. And guess what? You'll be able to do it. You'll be able to boldly, say boldly, convey that to somebody else. Because that's coming up out of you. That's what's alive inside of you. So we must practice sitting still in the presence of God so we can hear what he is saying. You know, it's difficult to talk to somebody that does all the talking. You ever had a person like that in your life? And you take a breath and you say, phew, phew. When they walk away, you say, that was not communication. Listen to me. Communication is two ways. That is not communication when you're doing all the talking. And God does not get the freedom to say what he needs to say. You get up when you get through saying what you want to say. That is not communication. Because you got to give God the freedom, say the freedom, to disrupt what you think you need to do. And you're going to only get that as you be in his presence, waiting to hear. And you know, I was sharing with you how that I go to the same chair, the same time, every day, do the same thing. Why? I'm training God to trust me. See, we want to trust God, but God can't trust you. You won't even show up the same time to pray every day. But you're developing habits that are going against what you say you want God to do. And I say it's better to pray 15 minutes than to pray 3 hours once a week. It's better to be consistent. Get in there and pray in tongues 15 minutes. And you know, if that's all you can do at the moment, do that until it begins to grow and develop in you. This is how we impact our finances. And our tithing and giving will work more efficiently for us. Amen? So as I learned to go in there and hear him, I got to lose all my opinions. I'm going to drop all my ideas because I'm waiting to hear what he has to say. I could be on point, but it doesn't matter because he might have to change my point. And I'm not afraid for him to tell me to change something about my life. Because what I'm doing might need to be updated. It's not because it's wrong. It's no longer efficient. For what you're dealing with right now, it's not enough. Anybody hearing what I'm saying? So we practice by sitting still. You turn the TV off. You turn off all the noise in your house. Because God doesn't yell at you. He's going to talk to you in a still, small voice. And he's going to talk to you from the inside. And you got to be able to hear that. Amen? Because I want to hear what he's saying. And the other thing was that many times we go to pray, we study to fix a situation and not to grow. Quit studying to fix a problem. Study to grow. You eat so you can be healthy and grow correctly. You don't eat so you can try to share nutritional information with somebody else that's not eating. No, you eat so you can grow. Your studying will be more fruitful and productive when you stop trying to resolve an issue and study to grow. Come on, stand to your feet.